What is up, guys? It's your boy 2Natural, and I just sold my entire team on NFL Rivals. And I know a lot of you guys are asking why, and a lot of it harkens back to my previous video that I did. If you haven't watched it, go watch it now. It's the first rivalsnomics video I ever made, and it's called "Why You're Doing the Draft Promo All Wrong." So basically, what I talked about in there is how the draft cards are unique because, as most of you guys probably know, they scale up in power as the season goes on. So today we're going to take a deeper dive because it's closer to the season. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I kind of folded on my own investments because I was afraid of power creep. I can't lie. Like, I was super big on you guys know I was super big in on Gibbs. I was super big in on Addison, but I wasn't expecting so many promos. And when cards, like when we had Shakers, bro, when they came out with DeAndre Swift, who had crazy power creep, like his speed was like 30 speed more than Gibbs, who was already pretty fast. And then they started coming out with, and that was an epic, right? And then they came out with Eckler, right? So I was like, oh, now Swift is going to be the best back in the game for a while. And then they came out with, bam, tournament reward, Eckler, who's faster than Kamara at most speeds, one of the fastest cards in the game. I was like, why are we investing in these draft cards, right? I cut bait. I'm going to be real with you guys. I entirely cut bait on draft cards. But anyways, so now fast forward to kickoff, and the thing is, I'm going back into the fray with draft cards. I spent probably, I would say, $700 to $800 just investing in these draft cards this week for my team and also for the mythical market. And of course, everything I say is not investment advice. But what prompted my change in thinking, right? So what prompted my change in thinking about these draft cards is I took a step back, right? I was like, bam, and I took a step back and I evaluated it. I thought, and I was like, okay, so yes, some of the stats are going up, but if you look at these three promos, kickoff shakers, I think I missed one, but kickoff shakers draft, is that all? That's all, right? I think that's all. But anyways, I looked at them, and then you'll see when I draw my tier list soon, but basically the power creep in terms of power level is not going up that fast. Really, the only cards that are top end is like one or two legendaries each program. And because, like, let's say in Madden, right? Let's give an example. I hate to compare it to Madden. I don't want to keep comparing it to Madden because I want Rivals to have a chance to be a game of its own. But if we look at Madden, right, you'll start out kickoff, right? Kickoff is like, you'll get maybe like 84 overall cards, and then what's the next promo after? I don't even know. But like, let's say by like Thanksgiving time, right? You're going to go up to like 86, 87 level cards. And then by the time Thanksgiving, you have like 95, maybe like 92 level cards, right? And that's the thing, is that I haven't seen that from Rivals so far. They seem to be going very, very standard. Like, their philosophy is very anti-power creep, right? And they've been just releasing different variations of cards that people will like use, and it gives people different top end options, which is a balanced approach that I really love, and I support them for doing that, right? So with that being said, now we know our rookie cards aren't going to be super, super devalued. At least fingers crossed, they're not going to be super, super devalued by the time these upgrades actually come. I was thinking we would have 4 or 5 promos too, but we've really only had like 4 promos a month. So basically, if these rookie cards can survive through 9 promos, they'll be good. And then I was looking further into the bonuses and looking how much power they're going to get boosted, right? And I was like, yeah, with the power curve being like this, even if there's a little power creep, I can build a team of full. So I sold my team and I realized I can build a team of full draft cards and not have to stress about getting the shiny new thing, not having to play every tournament if I don't want to, because these draft cards, I can build a core defense out of the best draft cards and they're going to keep getting upgraded. So it's like almost like getting a new legendary every program, right? A new upgraded legendary every time a new program comes out, but it does it automatically without you having to work and get a new card, buy a new card, grind for a new card, right? At least that's what I'm thinking. So I'm taking a really chill, low stress approach now to my team building. and I think that might pay dividends in the future. It's up to debate, right? But this is my take. So we're going to go a little deeper, and we're going to go through every rookie card and what I predicted for them. Blitz Brigade members, shout out the new squad. Got this info first, and then you guys are getting it now. Anyways, so I went through all the lines, and I looked at which ones are free. By free, I mean like 90% of first-round rookies have hit this milestone. Not like 90% of healthy first round rookies that like actually played the full games, because I'm not going to try and say I predict injury. However, in certain cases, there are players that are currently injured to start the season, and in those cases, I did count that into account, that it's not free, because who knows, the injury might be nagging. I go based off what I've heard. But I looked at betting lines, I looked at previous historical performances from first round rookies of the same positional class, and then I also looked at the odds, and I also looked at, what did I look at? I looked at their depth chart. I looked at what beat reporters are saying about the team in cases to like see more what we can project. Basically, let's start with the quarterbacks, right? So these are the boosts that I think they're going to get for free as long as they're healthy. Basically, they're going to start over 9. Let's see. So starting over 9 games. Basically, all these first rounders, we look at Bryce Young, we look at CJ Stroud, we look at Anthony Richardson. All of them are already declared the day 1 starter at their camp. And it makes sense. They're top 5 draft picks on teams that desperately need QB help. And with quarterbacks being the investment they are in the NFL, we almost never see. If you get the start right away and you don't get hurt, you're going to start over 9 games. The team has invested too much in you to give up on you after half a season even. Usually these guys you'll see, even if they suck. Look at Zach Wilson. He gets like 2-3 seasons of starting, or like being in the conversation for starting every single time, right? Playing 10 games or more this season, I mean, if they're starting over 9 games, they're going to play in 10 games. 1 touchdown in September, let's be real. I mean, like, yeah, season starts next week. You have like 3 weeks to throw 1 touchdown. You would have to be like, it's literally, if you play, even the people that like got benched, they got like garbage time minutes and they threw a touchdown. Like, that one, this is possibly the most free prop on all the rookie props. So throw for 10 touchdowns in a season, you get plus 10 power. So we looked at the Prize Picks lines. I'm kind of lazy. I'm sure there's better lines, but we just looked at Prize Picks. It gives us a good idea. Basically, every QB who played more than 10 games, which we already can just assume if they don't get hurt, they're going to play more than 10 games, except for Kenny Pickett, and he barely played. He played like 12 games, and he threw 7 touchdowns. But the over-under lines for these on Prize Picks are Bryce Young 21.5, Stroud 17.5, Richardson 16.5. Even if they underperform, they should still hit the lines pretty easily, playing a 17-game season, in my opinion. Throwing for 2,000 yards, same thing. I mean, you look at these lines, the worst one, Richardson, is like 800 yards above the projection that he would need to get the plus 10 power. So QB was one of the best positions to invest in, because it's a free plus 35 power, basically, if we just assume they stay healthy. Now, it's not a guarantee, but assuming they stay healthy, you're getting a lot of the most base boosts. And you'll see some positions are not like that, right? So then Bryce Young, base 122. He's a base 122 at level 1, so we're assuming he gets a free boost plus 35. He's already named the day 1 starter, so plus 5. And then another thing I want to know is, you have to look at the positional value of these Rookie of the Week all-rookie teams, right? What do we love in the media? What do we love? Oops, I moved something. The media loves Rookie of the Week, loves giving all rookie, not as much. There's just 1 for each position. So that's where you're going to get the key, because that's plus 20 power, I think, and the Rookie of the Week is like plus 5 or plus 10. Probably plus 10. Anyways, yeah, QBs stack these up a lot. Even the QBs that suck. Zach Wilson got like 5 Rookie of the Weeks, dude. So you can see how lucrative this is. That's a free plus 50 power. And the positions that are going to get these: QB, running back, wide receiver, And then defense has a chance. O-line has no chance, bro. O-line has no chance. Tight end might, but rookie tight ends never produce, right? O-line has no chance. And then maybe like a cornerback, linebacker, defensive end. But Sauce got a couple last season. He got like 2 or 3. But Sauce was arguably a top 5 corner in the league when he was a rookie. Not that many rookies are going to duplicate that performance. Shoot, this video is running a little long. Well, y'all might have to sit through. This is valuable info. Anyways, yeah. So even then, like I've seen some of these QBs, these running backs, these wide receivers get Rookie of the Week like 8 times. That's plus 80 power. Like there's insane upside on these that defensive players don't really have because it's hard to be like. Everyone will look at a running back that puts up 100 yards and be like, Rookie of the Week. They're not going to do that if you just have a solid game as a cornerback, linebacker. You need to like put up like 2 sacks, 2 picks, like you need to literally like force a turnover, do something like outstanding to get considered over an offensive player. Anyways, that was a little distraction, but all these guys basically are going to get this plus 40 power, and they're projected at least 162 power. So basically Richardson is about $80. I don't like Richardson as much because I think he has a less chance to get Rookie of the Week all rookie. The receiving corps in Indy, let's just be real. Indy's terrible, right? The Colts have a terrible team, a terrible receiving corps. Pittman is fine, Pierce is fine, but not great, right? And then Jonathan Taylor just got hurt. So that's like your main crutch right there. People have Richardson going to throw the most picks in the league. Rookie struggles. He's already one of the most raw prospects coming out. I'm not picking up Richardson, even though he's the cheapest. Stroud, Texans, not as great weapons, but they have I would say they have a better infrastructure around him, I guess, and he's a more talented player, at least passing-wise. Has a good chance to get the Rookie of the Week in the all-rookie team. Now, the player I bought is Bryce Young. He's $100. Stroud was like $130, $140. I did see one at $75. It got sniped before I could buy it. I like Young. If I had to pick a QB, I like Young. I would personally grab one of each if you have the money, if you're balling like that. But I don't want to spend that much money just on QBs when a good enough QB will suffice. It's not the difference between winning and losing games. So I just picked up a Bryce Young. I think I'll be set for the rest of the year. I don't see any way he gets less than 162 power. He is, I think, the best receiving corps out of these 3. And he's the most talented, arguably. So I think he's the best chance to get all rookie. He's at least 162 power, which is a mythical quarterback. You guys can see why I'm now back in on draft, right? Because the upside is crazy. This would be better than the A-Rod card, the A-Rod mythical card at level 1. Plus, that's not even counting. If he gets all rookie, that's 20. If he gets like 3 Rookie of the Weeks, which he could totally get more, is you're looking at a 210 power card. Like, you guys don't even understand how crazy the power creep would have to be to make a 210 card be not worth the value, you know? That would mean that would mean basically the game dies from power creep, like respectfully, yeah. So let's look at the running backs now. I'm not going to talk as much. Start more than 9 games, rush for over 500 yards, rush for over 100 yards in the first 5 weeks, rush for 3 or more touchdowns this season. Basically, I mean, this is almost the same as quarterback, right? When you invest in a first-round running back, especially a top 10 running back, top 15 like Robinson and Gibbs are, you're investing in them with the purpose of running them into the ground. Running backs are replaceable. They're just going to get run. They're going to get the money out of. Dude, look at what's happening in Saquon. Look at what's happening with Josh Jacobs. Whatever, right? They know they're not going to pay these dudes. They're going to grind them into the ground for 4 years, get all the value they can for their dollar, and then just drop them. So the first year especially, they're going to run them into the ground, bro. First year running backs are good. These are guaranteed. Plus 30 power. Bijan, so he's getting that plus 30 power, right? And then the thing is he actually might not get the plus 5 power from the week 1 start, shockingly enough. Because running backs is a committee, and Algier was good last year. So he's going to, don't get it twisted, he's going to be their number 1 back, easily. And he's going to smash 1,000 yards, in my opinion. His current over-under is 1099.5. If you look at guys that Bijan is similar to, is like Saquon, is like I don't even know. His athletic profile's off the charts. But he's most comparable to Saquon coming into the league. Atlanta has a really good O-line. I think he smashes 1,000 yards. His current price picks is 1,099.5, meaning it's pretty likely. Like, they think he's going to hit 1,100 yards. So, yeah, I would say he's like, I say that's likely. So I'm going to give him plus 10 power. So Bijan is going to be 160 power. If he starts, and I expect him to get a lot of Rookie of the Week, I'd be shocked if he's not the best rookie running back for the all-rookie team. I think he goes at least 160 power, probably has upside for over 200. Now Gibbs, I don't think he's gonna get that. So Gibbs, I like for a budget option. I bought one of each for I bought 2 Gibbs. I bought 1 Robinson, 2 Gibbs. I like Robinson if you have to pick one, but you also don't really need a top tier running back, in my opinion, in the current meta of the game. Now we don't know what'll change by the time these rookies get the Rookie of the Week stuff, so take that with a grain of salt. Gibbs, I think, gets a free boost for plus 30 power. I don't think he hits 1,000 yards because David Montgomery's in the picture. Same thing with the starting. Monty might get the week 1 start there. But I think he might rack up a couple Rookie of the Week or all rookies. But I just don't think I don't think he has the upside of Bijan. I just think Bijan has the load to a true bell cow 3-down role. I think Gibbs is still going to get work taken by Monty, so it's going to be harder for him to hit. There's just a lot more weapons in Detroit where I don't think he hits these top end 1,000 Rookie of the Week all rookie team lines. But he's still going to be a really solid option. And when I say solid, I'm talking 150, 160 power range. So like what Eckler or like Kamara are right now, which is an insane running back still. So yeah, I like both of these guys. Pick both of them up if you have the money. Wide receivers, so free boost, there's a little less here. So now you can see, if we're looking at QBs, you're getting 35 power free. By the time we get to wide receivers, you're getting 20 power free. Start more than 9 games. As long as you're healthy, you'll probably start. It's not a lock. From historical data from like the last couple years, it's not a lock. It's likely, though. And then there's some outliers. So like Kadarius Toney, injured, and then Ruggs, I think, was injured, and this was the season before he got arrested for the car crash. But I think he was off the field for a couple times. There's some dudes who just sucked and didn't play too. But majority of them hit it. Catch more than 30 passes also, yep. And then 500 yards should be pretty free. So now here we come to the first injury red flag. We have Jackson Smith and Jigba. He has a is it hamstring? He has some kind of injury, nagging injury. Debatable if he's gonna be playing week 1. I X'd him out of starting week 1. With the corpse they have there, Metcalf, Lockett, I don't think they need him to start. And if he's injured, he's not gonna have enough time with the team, right? And then catch more than 50 passes, gain over 1,000. I basically put these as question marks because if one of these gets done, I put price picks lines on here, but his lines are off because he's hurt. One of these guys can pop off. One of these guys can definitely pop off, catch the passes, gain over 1,000 yards. From what I've seen, catching more than 50 passes like 50-50 in historical data from first-round wide receivers. So I think he's going to get around 110 power. And upside for more, but I'm staying away because of injury because I'm worried it'll get re-aggravated. It might be something in the 6th round. He might get hurt, and that's a worst case with all these rookies we're talking about. We don't want him to get hurt. We want our investment to be safe as possible. But he's so cheap. I mean, all these receivers, the thing is, all these receivers are like $7-8 per. I would definitely grab one because the upside is having one of the best wide receivers in the game. If they pop off, really pop off, like go 1K yards, Rookie of the Week, all rookie team, there's big upside there. I would grab one because why not, right? Quentin Johnston. So now, Quentin Johnston, news broke. He's going to get the 20 power from the free boost. Oh, yeah, I also took off JSN's free boost, by the way, because I'm not sure because he's injured now. If he misses games, he might not get these things, which should be free if you're healthy. So, Quentin Johnston not starting the first game of the season. We've heard solid reports coming out of Chargers game. He's going to be 4th behind Josh Palmer week 1, not getting the start there. Catch more than 50 passes and over 1,000 yards. Price fix line is at 600 yards. If he can supplant, I would say if he can supplant Mike Williams or Keenan Allen, first he needs to pass Josh Palmer, dog. So, but his line is around 600. If he manages to somehow outplay Keenan Allen and rise up, he has got a chance, right? I'm not going to count it out. For now, I think he's only at like 119 plus power. Touchdowns is also a little scary because you have Eckler taking that. I don't even remember who their tight end is, but they have a tight end, and then Mike Williams taking the red zone targets. I would say this is a little more unlikely for QJ versus some of the other guys. Now, one of the guys I actually like, I didn't like this guy's investment based off some of his lines when we started, but I actually think Zay Flowers we've gotten a lot of reports where they're saying he's the new number one guy in Baltimore, right? So there's Odell and Rashad Bateman there. Not stiff competition at this point. I think Odell is a good wide receiver too. As a Rams fan, he's no longer a wide receiver one. He's going to get 20 power. He's starting for sure. Catch more than 50 passes, I would say very likely. Rashad Bateman, our comp, another first-round rookie to the Ravens 2 years ago, had 46 and he missed 5 games. So he should hit it as long as he stays healthy. Over 1,000 yards, I would say hard. Baltimore doesn't pass that often. His line is at 599.5. I would say it's possible he scores some touchdowns. But I think the thing also we have to look at is it's probably going to be, if we're assuming power goes up, it's going to be based on his base stats. So Zay already has super high acceleration, super high speed on his base card. So that 40 power is going to mean more for Zay because more points are going in his speed compared to the other guys where their points might be going in like skill move, acceleration. Acceleration is good, I guess. Skill move, jump, catch, like other less relevant stats to gameplay, right? So I actually like Zay now. I think he gets a lot of free boosts as one of the only solidified starters out of these rookie wide receivers. And then, yeah. He already has great stats, so like why not? He'll help your team now and later. Very playable still now in today's meta. Addison, I also really like his base stats. Not as good as Zay's, but he's a better all-around wide receiver. He gets a free boost. He's starting. Catch more than 50 passes and over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. I would say with Thielen gone, Minnesota offense is one of the most pass-heavy offenses, one of the most explosive offenses. Addison has a really good shot at getting great performance boost. He's going to get the start and catch more than 50 passes. So you're looking at a 133 power card. Out of these cards, I feel like JSN, QJ, grab a couple. But really, I'm investing heavily. I have like 5, 6 of Zay and Addison because I think the price versus the upside is just so huge on these two guys. I mean, they're gonna be dynamic this upcoming season. I'm very excited for the NFL to be back. Kincaid. I'm not gonna go over these too much. I realize I'm taking too much time. Kincaid, you can look, pause the video. I have everything written out here. Kincaid is in a competition with Dalton Knox. I don't think he starts. I don't think he has a defined role yet. So he's going to need to win that role. I'm not investing heavily in Kincaid. I have one Kincaid for my personal team. Tight end just isn't a very impactful position. Even if he gets like a mythical, I don't think he's worth. He's a rare. He has to climb a lot in power, and rookie tight ends historically, you can look at the data, but rookie tight ends historically are just not very good. They don't get much production. And considering he's behind a proven NFL stud in Dawson Knox that Josh Allen has a decent rapport with, I'm not choosing to buy in on the Kincaid stocks. I have one in case he goes up for the personal use, but tight end isn't incredibly impactful, right? O-line is another area I skipped. Don't get me wrong, these cards are going to go up in power, but also my thought process here is I can't scrap my entire team, replace them all with draft. Obviously, there's some positions that aren't filled, but I'm going to need players because to enter in the tournaments, you need an epic player, a rare player. So if I'm buying a new epic player and replacing my draft player that I have there, I'm basically wasting a slot, right? Like, you know what I mean. Anyways, yeah, so I figure I can just put all those program players on the O-line. There's lots of O-line promo players, so I can just put them there because O-line, from what I've seen, is a very small upgrade in gameplay, if any. It's just not worth it for me. But anyways, O-line does have decent free boosts. You get plus 20 power, and then if you record more than 350 plays in your first 5 games, You get plus 10 power, I think, and then block for a 1,000-yard rusher, you're going to get another plus 10 power. The way I see it is we should just be looking at the teams that have potential to get a 1,000-plus yard rusher, right? So for this reason, I'm not super huge on Paris Johnson because I don't think Arizona's going to be good enough to get that many plays in on the field, to be honest, in the first 5 weeks. And then for a 1,000-yard rusher, I love James Conner, but he's a red zone threat. He's not going to put up those big stats on the ground, right? His best, I think, is like 8. Oh, no, he got like 900 something in Pittsburgh, but his best in Arizona is like 800 yards. Their offense is not as good now. He's never gone over 1,000 yards in his career. He's been around the league 6-7 years. He's already past his peak, most likely past his athletic peak. I don't think he's hitting 1,000. Same with Darnell Wright, different way. Chicago had the third lowest plays per game. He's not getting more than 350 plays in the first 5 games unless Justin Fields turns into a freaking god. Running back by committee backfield, I like Roshan to come out of here, but even then, you're looking at kind of a two-man, at least a two-man race. I forgot the other backs in Chicago, but you're looking at Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson likely splitting work for a while. You really want the undisputed work if you're going to try and hit 1,000 yards. So I don't think either of them get it, especially with Justin Fields being able to run as well. It's just split too many ways for me to be confident. Skoronski on the Titans, I mean, they have Derrick Henry. I don't think he's getting 350 plays, but I think if Henry is healthy, Henry is getting 1,000 yards rushing. Their entire game plan is built around getting Henry. Like, I would bet my life. If you tell me Derrick Henry's healthy next season, I would bet my life on him getting over 1,000 yards. Like, it's as much of a lock as you can get, as long as he stays healthy, of course. So, same thing with Broderick Jones. Najee's not as good as Henry, obviously, but he's gotten 1,000 yards in both of his last 2 seasons, despite absolutely sucking last season and being injured. So it's like, that's a lock for me, in my opinion. Najee's still young. It's more of a lock because I have less injury concerns than Skoronski, to be honest. And also, in Pittsburgh, they actually ran a high-tempo offense, unlike Chicago and Tennessee. So I think if you're going for upside, there's a good chance Broderick Jones is the best upside out of these guys. Now, Anton Harrison, rare, Jaguars, ETN has a very good chance, and there's a good chance he actually records the 350 plays on Jacksonville. Very high-tempo, up-tempo passing offense. But, I mean, none of these guys are getting Rookie of the Week. If you had to pick one, if you want one of these guys, Paris Johnson, obviously starting at the highest overall, is going to be at an advantage. And then I also really like Skoronski or Broderick, especially Broderick, but I didn't end up getting any of these guys because, to be honest, I just don't care about my O-line. Unless the devs show us we literally need O-line, yeah. So, cornerback. Cornerback is a tough position, right? Cornerback, there's a lot of boomer bust. Cornerback, there's a lot of guys drafted first round who just end up not starting at all. So nothing is free with cornerbacks. Pass breakups and interceptions are just so hard to predict with consistency. They're luck-based. So I didn't do that much work here, but Witherspoon, I think, is a little risky. We did buy one for the team because the possibility of an elite mythical level corner, 160 plus overall, is just too good for me to pass up right now, and he helps my team a lot now. So we got one. Risky for price, though, I would say. He's injured right now, and Seahawks have a ton of talent there. I mean, obviously, they have an elite crew over there. Obviously, they have Woolen. They also have, like, Mike Jackson. So the cornerback room is just so competitive in Seattle that I don't know. From what I've heard, he's going to get on the field as a nickel corner. But I'm not sure what you're looking at in terms of, it's just like, if he misses time, you could get screwed here. Let's see. Forbes, I think, is gonna be the cornerback 2 in Washington. I think he's gonna start. I think he's gonna start more than 9 games. He's already on track for that. Pass breakups is tough to predict, like I said. I'm not even gonna try and predict that. Just know there's upside there. There's more upside. Cornerback is the best upside out of most defensive positions, I would say, outside of maybe D-end for Rookie of the Week. So I wouldn't count that out either, but I think Forbes is going to end up at 124 plus power. If you want a safe guy, Forbes is my guy. Forbes is my favorite corner to buy as an investment and for my personal team based on the cost you're getting him at. Because I think Gonzalez is also going to start, But Jack Jones might not play week 1. That's the path Gonzalez has to getting the start. I would say it's likely. We're giving him 5 power for that. But when Jack Jones comes back from his court case, we don't really know, right? So then I think he's 113 plus power. We don't know how much he's going to stay on the field. Now, on the Giants, Deonte Banks is actually going here. So I picked up 1 Gonzalez, maybe 2, I don't know. But we picked up a lot of Deonte Banks because for the rare, he's worth the lottery ticket at the most important position in your NFL rivals defense. I say it's worth it, right? I mean, we're swinging for upside here. Starting the first game of the season, plus 5 power. Start more than 9 games. He's locked in as a cornerback, too. If he's healthy, he's getting this 15 power. It's free. And then we're just hoping he gets picks, rookie of the week, whatever he breaks out. And I think he's guaranteed 113 plus power, which is nice because if you look, that's as much as I think Gonzalez is projected for. So I don't mind him at all. Now, let's talk about linebackers because there's a big split between people playing inside linebacker and outside linebacker. So inside linebacker is going to be the one, middle linebacker tackling a lot. Outside linebacker is going to be on the edge rushing the QB. I don't think you should invest in outside linebackers because all the things for linebackers are based on tackles. There's no sacks. The only O linebacker over the past, since 2020, you can see every inside linebacker hit the tackles. You don't have to be a good linebacker. You just have to be on the field, and you're going to tackle so many people. Outside linebacker, the only one who hit these is Micah Parsons. So, let's be real, guys. Once in a generation defensive phenom, right? Where you're not getting that every season. We're gonna give inside linebackers 15 power, and outside linebackers almost are never gonna hit these tackle numbers. It's a little unfair in my opinion, but oh no, Will Anderson not getting defensive end stat boost. That's an older revision. Will Anderson is an outside linebacker. Now the thing is, Will Anderson might be that generational talent. I don't know. I mean, they traded up for him, right? So, but he's like the 3 pick, traded up. He's going to start the first game, start more than 9 games, no doubt. Playing over 500 snaps, definitely. And then it just depends if he can be a freaking phenom like Micah Parsons. I mean, I think I already have him chalked up with these at 147 power. And if he's a phenom if he's an absolute freak like Micah Parsons and they play him in different spots, which it doesn't really seem like it because they're playing him at defensive end. If he's a full-time rusher, I don't like his odds of more upside. But 147 power is not bad, and he should make the All-Rookie of the Week team, right? So you're not going to be upset having a mythical level, Bobby Wagner level defender, in my opinion. So I picked up 1 Will Anderson. He helps your team now too. Jack Campbell, plus 15 power inside linebacker. I think he starts more than 9 games. It's a competition to start right now between him and Derek Barnes and the Lions. So yeah, and then 15 tackles. If he gets on the field, if he beats out Derek Barnes for this inside linebacker spot in the first 5 weeks, he should probably get it. And then this snaps also depends on if he beats Barnes out. 123 plus power, a big amount of more potential. Nolan Smith, we're actually surprisingly completely fading. He's an outside linebacker, and he's coming in rotationally in the Eagles linebacking corps. Not worth it. Not that much upside here, in my opinion. He's an outside linebacker, so just not going to get that many tackles, so it's not worth it. I didn't buy any of him. Bought in Anderson, and then we bought a couple of Jack Campbells. I like Jack Campbell. How many more do we have? Wow, this is a long video. Anyways, D tackles, yeah. So free boosts are just tackles. You can get tackles. The D tackles will hit these tackle numbers as long as they're healthy. Now, I don't really know how starting works with D tackles. It's kind of tough to find info on, nobody wants to write about D-line, I guess. Jalen Carter, anyway. Free boost. Jalen Carter. He might not start. It might be Jordan Davis first week. But he's going to start more than 9 games. I mean, let's be real. Jalen Carter's a freak, bro. He's so talented. Sacks are just really hard to hit. You can see I crossed that off for every D tackle. Sacks are just hard to get for D tackles, rookies especially. But yeah, I think Jalen Carter honestly has a lot of potential for the all-rookie team. I don't think any of these guys at D tackle, it's hard to get rookie of the week level stats. Because like I said, it's hard to get sacks. And to be a rookie of the week, you're going to need the sacks. You're going to need flash stats. All-rookie team, I think Jalen Carter by far has the best chance out of all these guys. I mean, the talent on him, he was a top 5 pick before the incidents he had leading to a slide. But I really like Jalen Carter here. I have a ton of Jalen Carter. He's going to be 135 plus power. If he gets the all rookie, we're looking at a 155, 165 player. Cansey, same thing. I think he's going to start. He's listed as a starter for them. But he does have a calf injury, so that's something to be worried about for him starting those. I think he has a good chance of hitting both of these, though, which if he does hit both of those, I would put him at like 130 power, like midway into the season, which is really good. I mean, I picked up a couple of him. I think he's worth the upside. I think Carter's more talented, but yeah. And then these guys, sorry, I'm trying to speed this video up. I'm just talking and talking and talking. Modsy and Brian Breesy, they're towards the end of the first round, and they're moving into rotations with established D linemen, so they might win the role, but just as a rare, I don't think they're worth a big swing. So, I mean, you can buy like one, because these, I would buy one each of these, because they're $1.50. Just count that $1.50 is gone. Just don't buy freaking McDonald's for one day, and like, it's worth it, because if they somehow turn out to be a freak of nature and you end up getting a mythical card, you would much rather have that than your freaking like McCafe McDonald's, in my opinion. All right, last category. We are almost done. It's been almost freaking 40 minutes. This video is so long. Anyways, Tyree Wilson, he's stuck. The defensive ends in Raiders, Max Crosby, Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones might be declining, but he's still really, really good. I mean, he ran back a game-winning touchdown last season. 4 sacks. Price fix line for Tyree is at 6 sacks. I think he's going to get on the field decent. I just don't think he's a path to starting. He has a good path to these two. Recording 4 sacks and 2 sacks in the first 5 weeks, but 25 tackles, I'm not sure. 8 sacks, I'm not sure, because I don't think he's going to go on the field that much. But if he only gets that, I only see him getting like 125, 126 power. So I'm staying away from Tyree. No, what am I saying? I have a Tyree because he's starting off at such a high base overall, but I wouldn't invest heavily into him at all. Van Ness. Van Ness had I think led the Big Ten in, is it the Big Ten? Big Ten or Big 12, I think. Led the Big 12. I don't remember. I don't know. Wherever the heck Iowa's at. I don't even care. Iowa, yeah, Van Ness gets a ton of sacks. Let's just say that. He was one of the leaders, one of the team leaders in sacks in his last 2 seasons over at Iowa. I don't think he'll start, but I think he's going to be a sack specialist. He's one of the best rushers coming in this rookie class. He's going to get 4 sacks or more, almost guaranteed. I would say he probably also gets the 2 sacks in 5 weeks. 8 sacks is going to be a reach. I mean, it's just tough for rookies to get 8 sacks, so yeah. And then Miles Murphy, he's buried in a big depth chart in Cincinnati. Anudike, I think if you like a dart throw, I would buy 1 or 2 of him. He's definitely better than Miles Murphy because Charles Omenihu over on the Chiefs is suspended. Chris Jones is still in flux. Chris Jones' D tackle shouldn't really affect. Just wanted to mention it. So yeah, there's who is it? Furious George. He has a super long last name, but Furious George over on the Chiefs as well as Omenihu, but Omenihu's suspended. Anudike has a chance. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right. He has a good chance to start in the first game, as well as start more than 9 games if he plays well. And then I would say he probably gets the sacks, the 4 sacks and the 2 sacks in the first 5 weeks. So yeah. All right, that was a long video. But anyways, let's just go over the people, re-reference who I'm getting. I have a Tyree Wilson, a couple of Lucas Van Ness, and then one of these guys for upside, Mozzie and Breesy. They're so cheap, literally free. One Cansey, a couple Carters, Campbell, Anderson, love Deontay Banks, okay with Christian Gonzalez, Forbes, and Witherspoon. Really like Forbes, actually. Getting all those guys. We want as much exposure, as much upside as possible in case one of these just has an absolute insane season and just goes 180 power. You're going to be so mad if you're like, I have this 180 power card. Oh, yeah, by the way, 2 Natural told me I could get this card for $5 back 9 months ago. So that's my idea. I'd rather do that than get caught holding the bag. Anyway, so we have Skronsky, Wyatt, Johnson, not picking up any O-line, picking up one of all these receivers at least. I like Flowers and Addison if you want to get more. Shoot, my freaking blue light filter's turning back on because I took so freaking long. Anyways, Gibbs, Robinson, love Gibbs, love Robinson. They're both chilling. QBs, one of each for exposure. Like Young and Stroud a lot more than Richardson. Like Young the best. Anyways, that was a ton of info. Hope y'all learned from it at least. Hope y'all just skip to the parts you want. Honestly, this video went way too long. Too Natty out. Hope this helped y'all. Peace.